I'm going to tame him with great boxing skills. I frustrate all the aggressive fighters I face.
He does indeed, and that vintage boxing performance against Donaire seems so long ago, doesn't it? It was a long time ago, and he's changed his persona, Rigomdeaux, several times since then. And right now, he thinks he's one big counter left hand away from controlling a fight.
And again, received the equivalent of an Ivy League education in the Cuban School of Boxing, double Olympic gold medalist. And with 4 gold medals from a team of just 7 fighters, Cuba put on another show of flair and Olympic flamboyance in Tokyo. Rigomdeaux saying he was inspired by watching the Olympics. And, you know, he has shown absolutely brilliant boxing skills, albeit at times at the expense of being fan-friendly. Here in Carson, California, you better be fan-friendly.
You betcha. That man had 475 amateur fights. Casimero had 200. So we got 675 amateur fights represented by these two men.
It doesn't get any sweeter in the sweet science.
And now making his way to the ring from the Philippines, the colorful and defending WBO bantamweight champion of the world, John Riel Cuadro Alas Casimero.
The artist is Easy Mill. John Riel Casimero told us that Guillermo Rigomdeaux is easy money. Do you believe that, Abner?
Well, he is coming in with a lot of confidence. He believes that he's proven that he's got the style to overwhelm any technical fighter. And I believe that styles do make fights, and believe that Casimero has a style that will give anyone problems. But tonight, he has to be really smart, has to be patient, wait for the right time to get in and watch Ray go down, break him down, break down the older fighter down.
Tonight, the bantamweight division is center stage. We bring in our Hall of Famer Steve Farhood to talk about the champions and the notables at 118 pounds.
Indeed, Mo, the bantamweight division, we take a look at the top guys, the champions. What Casimero, Donaire, and division leader Inoue have in common, they can all punch. And the fans who buy into the myth that the lighter weight fighters can't punch haven't seen these three lately at all. As for the notable contenders at this weight, well, tonight we briefly saw Russell and Rodriguez. Rushy Warren was a winner as he gets closer to another shot at a world title. Ubali, a former champion who beat Warren to win a vacant title. Ubali then lost that title to Donaire. And then there's Rigomdeaux, also a former titleist at this weight because he held a secondary title at 118 until very recently. So lots of title-ready talent right now at 118 pounds.
Guillermo Rigomdeaux coming off a career-long 18-month layoff at the age of 40. That might not necessarily be such a bad thing as we go to the tail of the tape for our main event. The bantamweight title belonging to John Riel Casimero on the line.
Well, two numbers are the most important. One, the big 4-0. Does life begin at 40 for Rigomdeaux? We'll see. And the 117.5, as Morrow pointed out, second time he's been at that weight. It went down at this advanced age. Nobody does that. We'll see how that all plays out.
And the rules for our main event tonight. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Referee or doctor can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. The fight is official after the end of round 4. If a fighter cannot continue due to an injury from an accidental foul or headbutt before the end of 4, it's a no decision. After the end of round 4, they go to the scorecards for a technical decision. Here in Carson, California, in the great outdoors of Southern California, we've got our man Jimmy Lennon Jr. on the microphone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to Dignity Health Sports Park here in Carson, California, as Premier Boxing Champions presents the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by TGB Promotions and Showtime, sponsored by Geico. This bout is sanctioned by the WBO, the President Francisco Valcarcel, Supervisor Richard DeCure, along with the California State Athletic Commission, the Chairman John Carvelli, Executive Officer Andy Foster. Introducing our 3 judges, scoring from ringside, from Nevada, Tim Cheatham. Also from Nevada, Robert Hoyle. And from California, Daniel Sandoval. Introducing our 3rd man to the ring, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Jerry Cantu. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Bantamweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Carson, California, it's showtime! Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gold trunks with white trim, fighting out of Miami, Florida, by way of Santiago de Cuba. He weighed in at 117 1/2 pounds. His record stands at 20 wins, 1 loss, 1 no contest, with 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former 2-division world champion and the former 122-pound champion of the world, introducing the Jackal, Guillermo El Chacal Rigomdeaux. And his opponent across the ring is the defending world champion, fighting out of the red corner, wearing silver trunks with orange trim, hailing from Ormoc City, Leyte in the Philippines. He weighed in at the bantamweight limit of 118 pounds. His record stands at 30 wins, 4 losses, 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight in the second defense of his title, here is the 3-division world champion and the current reigning and defending WBO bantamweight champion of the world, introducing John Riel, Cuadro Alas Casimero. Referee in charge now to give instructions, Ray Corona.
Jerry Cantu. No worries. Let's go. Dame la guante. Gentlemen, you were given your instructions in the dressing room. Estás recibiendo sus instrucciones en el camerino. Touch him up.
Referee Jerry Cantu, 19 years pro experience, working his 475th professional fight. Rigomdeaux said that, yeah, Casimero's knocked out 6 guys in a row, but none of them are in the same class as me. Rigo says that Casimero's going to have the devil in front of him tonight, while Casimero joked that Rigomdeaux's fights tend to put people other than his opponents to sleep. He says, quote, don't run, I want to fight. The bell, and round 1, the belt holder, Casimero. He is in the silver with orange trim, the challenger Rigomdeaux in the white and gold.
Casimero says he believes his work rate is going to help him. Now, he threw 60 punches per round in his last fight against Duke Mike, but normally he only averages 39 per round. We'll see which Casimero shows up.
And Rigomdeaux, a master counter puncher, and we just saw a display of that early, Abner, with the left.
Yeah, and because Casimero's point, you know, he can't get discouraged. He's going to be doing a lot of missing tonight, especially to get a defensive fighter like Rigomdeaux. So, but he's got to keep the pedal to the metal. He's got to put the pressure and break down an older Rigomdeaux.
Casimero went so far as to say he'd get him out by the third round. Our first fight, well, it lasted until the second round. Our second one went, unfortunately, only 16 seconds due to a no decision. Here we are, 1 minute gone in our much-anticipated main event.
I like what Casimero did right there with the hook. He knows that Rigomdeaux is going to be taking that step to his left. So what do? You throw that left. You don't let him out.
Rigomdeaux in his last fight started out round 1 against Solis, brawling on the inside. Tonight, he's starting out with lateral movement, which for him, of course, is a better move.
Now, you got to be careful because you know Rigomdeaux is just setting up a punch. He's waiting for the right punch, especially that left hand.
This is Rigomdeaux's fourth fight with trainer Ronnie Shields. Shields said that Rigomdeaux has the best feet in boxing, maybe the best footwork of any boxer Ronnie Shields has ever worked with. That's saying something.
Yeah, that's for sure. Ronnie's worked with some nice fighters.
Right hand there by Casimero. Casimero! And Rigomdeaux's hand is down.
No knockdown. No knockdown.
Oh, the referee count two, saying it's not a knockdown.
It's the fact that Casimero hit him right, hit him 3 times when he was out.
No knockdown.
Oh, Casimero again on the attack. Rigomdeaux trying to hang on. Early.
I think there was a left hook that did stun Rigomdeaux before he saw the canvas.
Rigomdeaux's been down 4 times in his career. And the early pressure by Casimero. I apologize.
Casimero's doing the right thing, and Abner alluded to it with these left hooks. It keeps Rigomdeaux in place, and against the left-hander, I think it's a very effective weapon.
Good start by the belt holder. Casimero just belted Rigomdeaux with another left hand as we go to round 2. Feet don't fail me now.
Hey. Well, it was an eventful first round. Here's where Rigomdeaux would hit the canvas. Now, he gets nailed with a left hand that's kind of on the back of the head. And whether that would be knocked down, who knows? But he was hit several times while on the mat, which, of course, could have also created a point deduction or disqualification of Casimero. And Rigomdeaux complaining about being hit behind the head, which, in fact, he was. And we'll get a look at it again, Abner.
Yeah, there was a punch behind the head, but then the punches afterwards while he was down, that could have been the punches that hurt him, to be honest, because Rigomdeaux, he was hurt once he got up.
And I do not want to intimate that Casimero is by any means a dirty fighter. He has been penalized 2 points in the past against Luis Lazarte for punching to the back of the head. And Rigomdeaux not quite down, but again, ancient history already, Al. This is round number 2. And Casimero continues to apply the pressure as expected.
Yeah, look at that pressure that Casimero's giving. But then again, Rigomdeaux is not throwing that jab to stop Casimero from coming in.
And Casimero unloading that right uppercut. Oh, there's a sniper-like straight left hand down the middle by Rigomdeaux.
He is always dangerous with that counter left, whether it's an uppercut or a straight left. And Casimero, while he's emboldened here early in this fight, needs to remember that.
Rigomdeaux's only loss came against Vasily Lomachenko, the only pro matchup in boxing history pairing 2-time Olympic gold medalists. The fight took place at 130, well over Rigomdeaux's best weight. In fact, he thinks his best weight is the one he's competing in right now. Time will tell. And boy, another beautifully executed left hand by Rigomdeaux.
That's 2 in a row. When you look at the tempo now, Casimero being more relaxed. He's not going in as crazy as he was in the early rounds.
And that footwork now on display by Rigomdeaux. A minute and a half gone again here in the second. Counter right upstairs by Rigomdeaux.
This is more movement early than I would have anticipated from Rigomdeaux. And the question you have to ask yourself is, can he continue this throughout the entire fight?
And was it because of what we witnessed in that first round by Casimero? The pressure that he put on?
So. You know why? Because he started it right at the beginning. So I think it was he had this in mind.
A minute left in the second.
It's getting the respect, you know. Rigomdeaux, he got the respect right now. Now the tempo, look at the tempo right now. It's really calm. It's what Rigomdeaux wants it now.
And Rigomdeaux's having a strong second round with that left hand after the counter to the midsection.
See, he's got more time to think now.
Yep.
He's in the outside. He's waiting for the right time.
Oh, beautiful lead left hook to the liver by Casimero.
It was what Casimero was doing in the first round, and then in the beginning of the second one, that is going to give Rigomdeaux problems. Right now, I think it's Rigomdeaux. Rigomdeaux is doing a good job of juicing the whole ring.
And it was Casimero who told Rigomdeaux to leave his bicycle at home. The crowd here in Carson wishes the same thing, but it's the sweet science. It's about hitting and not getting hit. Rigomdeaux, one of the best.
Well, for the first time tonight, we will have a chance to take a look at the keys to victory. And we will start with Rigomdeaux. He does not want to be on the inside as he was against Julio Ceja. And he needs to keep this fight, though, in the center of the ring and not get caught on the ropes. Now, he can hurt Casimero with a big counter left hand, and we've seen him throw that punch already. As for Casimero, 40% of his landed punches are body shots. He needs to use that against the 40-year-old. We saw one big left hook down there. He has a powerful uppercut, and it could be a big weapon in this fight. His right hand is a devastating weapon, and he used it to KO the last lefty that he faced.
That lefty being Zolani Tete, who Casimero defeated to become bantamweight belt holder. He, in fact, has won titles in 3 weight classes, having held major belts at 108 in 2012, 112 in 2016, and then winning the 118-pound title in 2019.
And, you know, Zolani Tete is kind of Rigomdeaux light. He's very similar to Rigomdeaux as a boxer, so it was a similar test. And Casimero was able to get him with some right hands.
Yeah, Casimero, the 4th Filipino fighter to win titles in 3 weight classes, as he hunts down Rigomdeaux.
And switches to lefty, Casimero. Interesting.
And what's also interesting for Casimero is that he's carried his punching power with him as he's moved up in weight.
I like what Casimero did there a second ago, switching to lefty. You know, you got to give different angles, different tricks to Rigomdeaux. I mean, he's going to continue to do that all night. But the question is, like you said, Al, can he do that for 12 rounds?
Well, this is the old Rigomdeaux, the one that we saw in the old days, and this crowd.
Oh, you don't mean the 40-year-old?
No, I mean the old. In the old days.
Okay.
The former Rigomdeaux.
This is the 3rd round. You can still get away with this. Casimero has to keep pressuring, go for the body, don't go for the head.
And the question here is going to be how much Rigomdeaux can punch from this posture. If he can throw punches and counterpunch, then of course he can win rounds, but he has to throw punches as well.
Great point. If you're just moving and Casimero is the one putting the pressure, even if he's missing, as a judge, I think they'll give him a round.
And here's what Casimero is not doing at all. He is not cutting off the ring at all against Rigomdeaux. He's following him around the ring.
It's not as easy as it looks.
No,
I'm going to tell
not.
you from experience, because they don't want to clip right. I did fight Rigomdeaux, and that was in 2003 Pan Am Games. I was 17 years old. The man was close to his 30s.
Yeah.
But I mean, same thing, same scenario. He was moving all around the ring. I couldn't catch him. and it's three rounds. So Casimero has 12 rounds. Well, 9 now.
Final 20 seconds of the third round, in which Rigomdeaux chewed up a lot of real estate.
10 seconds, stop it up. 10 segundos, para la campana.
Well, Raul Marquez and Alejandro Luna called the action in Spanish for every Showtime Championship boxing event. You can hit the SAP button on your TV if you'd like to hear our broadcast in Espanol tonight. And Raul's son, Giovanni Marquez, well, earlier today, he defeated Carlos Hernandez by decision in the finals of the 2021 Golden Gloves National Tournament of Champions in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He won the 152-pound division, and he was also named the outstanding fighter at the tournament. Congratulations, Giovanni Marquez and proud Papa Raul, and we look forward to seeing Giovanni Marquez in a Showtime Championship boxing ring sooner than later.
Raul, a former world champion in his own right, proud of his son.
La boca. La boca. Get over there.
The bell and round 4, and when it comes to judging a bout of this nature with all of that running in the last round,
wow,
the judges earn their keep, right, Al?
Don't ask. This is tough. And, you know, remember I mentioned that Casimero was hoping work rate would help him. He's only thrown 69 punches in this fight, and part of the reason is just catching Rigomdeaux is a tough one. Rigomdeaux himself has only thrown 61.
And I think it's about being patient now for Casimero. You got to wait for the right time to let go of the right hand, which he still hasn't.
Yeah.
And Casimero attempting to make that investment to the body, Al, as you've mentioned as well, but off balance throwing that left hand. But the investment to the body will be one way if you can tag him, Abner, to slow him down. Oh, and Rigomdeaux comes back.
They both throw that body shot at the same time. But yeah, you're right. He's setting up that left hook, but he's got to come with the straight right hand or straight to the body. Speaking of Casimero.
Less movement from Rigomdeaux in the last minute and a half or 2 minutes of this fight. Whether that continues, we'll see.
Lead left hand by Rigomdeaux.
Watch the camera, guy.
Minute and a half left here in the fourth. Casimero trying to find a way to close the distance without being countered by one of the best counter punchers in the sport.
That left hand is always ready for Rigomdeaux, and he's shown us that he can strike quickly with that punch.
Well, he can, but if you don't keep him busy, at least with the jab from Casimero, I mean, he's going to have fun throwing that left, but Casimero has to at least touch him with that left.
Yeah, you know, there's a misnomer that you don't jab against lefties. You do jab against lefties for a lot of reasons.
For many reasons. You know, you want to keep him busy, keep that hand entertained.
Although, against southpaws, it can be said that it's likely to be less effective, right?
It may, but it helps, as Abner put on,
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Yeah, it may not
set
land.
the table.
Yeah. And it may not land a lot.
Yeah.
And the feint's not coming from Rigomdeaux. And here's the interesting thing. The power puncher Casimero is biting on those feints.
Stop it about 10 seconds. 10 segundos.
Stop drinking the water for me, okay? Hey, listen. Now look, we can't give away no more rounds, okay? No more rounds to give away. Sit in the middle of the ring. Yeah, sit in the middle of the ring. The jab is dead when you want it.
El jab está ahí cuando tú lo
Then
quieres.
throw the left hand to the body, throw the left hand to the chest, throw the left hand up here. The guy is so scared. The guy is scared. Okay? Yeah, body, balik. Okay?
Jab in the body and then straight to the head. You jab in the body and then straight to the head.
Huh?
All right? Let's go.
Let's go.
Mark Anthony Luntayo translating in the Casimero quarters. We go to the fifth, and well, Ronnie Shields, no nonsense, always gets right to the point, Alan. I have to agree with his sentiments in the corner of Rigomdeaux.
Yeah, we don't know how all those rounds were scored at the beginning, but clearly, you know, Rigomdeaux was the Rigomdeaux Invitational track meet for a lot of that time, and it's very hard to win rounds that way. We'll probably see him in there. You see him trying to counterpunch more early in the round.
Yeah, I think even as a trainer, you get frustrated. You know, you worked on something, and it wasn't just running around the ring. So Ronnie Shield now wants him to, you know, sit in the center of the ring, throw more punches.
And, you know, a couple of those rounds, the left hand's the nice right
Casimero, a couple of rights holding on to that.
Watch your head. Watch your head.
Rigomdeaux to keep him in place.
Yeah. And one or two of those rounds, there were some left hands from Rigomdeaux that could have won him one or two of those rounds.
Abner is someone who has been in this sport at the highest level. I know it's easier said than done from your vantage point, seeing what you've seen thus far. What would you recommend Casimero try to do a better job of in terms of trying to cut off the ring?
Well, exactly that. Do not just follow Rigomdeaux. You got to close the ring. Do that. Work
I guess he heard us.
Throw that body shot, that left hand to the body, to the head. Do not let him out. And once that hand touches, believe me, the right hand will touch also. So make sure you let go of the right hand for Casimero.
And Casimero normally can double with the left hook. That's what he's got to try and do, even though it's difficult against this moving target.
But I always said if my lead hand touches his face, his body, believe me, my right hand is going to do so as well. So Casimero has to let go of the right hand. He hasn't yet. He's just done it a few times.
Well, Rigomdeaux with a side headlock on Casimero.
We saw Casimero there try the right hand a couple of times, and he's got to, as Abner said, he's got to try and get that punch unlimbered.
There it is. That's a good body shot.
And for Rigomdeaux, you know,
there's an uppercut and another right hand by Casimero.
And this is a round in which Rigomdeaux's only thrown 13 punches, so, you know, it's going to be just tough for them to give him the round.
A lot of pot shotting, and there was another left hand by Rigomdeaux, but not much in terms of offense. There's a body shot by Casimero. But shot singular, not plural. Many boxing luminaries in attendance here tonight for this night of bantamweight action, including a, well, man who's really coming to his own as a trainer, has a hot hand these days as Canelo's trainer. That's Eddie Reynoso. And there's Rolly Romero, undefeated at 14-0 with 12 knockouts. I would say he's a bit polarizing in terms of how fans have reacted.
Yeah, that's true.
But hey, his confidence, definitely not a factor. He's got lots of it.
That's for sure. Now, here's where Casimero did a good job of kind of holding the left hand.
If he could get away with that.
Yeah, and the hitting. And some head movement, too. There's going to be frustration for Casimero. We saw kind of part of it there where he may need to rough up Rigomdeaux in this fight and make it a more rough and tumble affair.
Of course, I wonder if Casimero is like, hey, could we get the Rigomdeaux that fought Julio Ceja in this fight?
He did ask for that. He told Rigomdeaux, hey, make sure you just get in the center of the ring.
He called Central Casting. They sent him the wrong Rigomdeaux.
Well, Rigomdeaux again with the left. There's a left that just bounced off the top of Rigomdeaux's head, but Casimero, and the pressure has abated a bit as well, although now going to the body with the right hand.
Watch your feet, watch your feet.
Well, you know, the dearly departed Pernell Whitaker, Floyd Mayweather, Tony Pep, they will all appreciate what Rigomdeaux is doing. In fact, has talked about his influences.
Yeah, but those fighters were really well defensively, but offensively also. They'll come back with great punches.
Yeah, Rigomdeaux has certainly not been active in this fight, as active offensively as he would have liked. There are moments where he lands counter punches, but they're few and far between.
And I think this is what frustrates the fans and people. I mean, if he was defensive, you know, counter punches just like that, 1-2 punches, clean punches, okay, I'll be happy with that. But if you just make a miss and run around, it's frustrating.
And yet, you know, there's this segment of the boxing fan base that's like, oh, this is beautiful. This is...
Well, and look at here. This is a stationary Rigomdeaux, and it's up to Casimero to make it work right there, you know?
I would like to see the Casimero that we saw in the first, second, and partially third round. More pressure.
Final minute of the 6th. Nearing the midway point of this championship match. Casimero putting his 118-pound strap on the line against Rigomdeaux, who is attempting to become the oldest man to ever be a 118-pound belt holder.
And, you know, Casimero's only thrown 24 punches in this round, and part of that is due to Rigomdeaux. But even when Rigomdeaux was stationary, Casimero wasn't super active. So he's not super active either in this round.
There's a counter left by Rigomdeaux as Casimero tries to rough him up on the inside. 15 seconds left in the round.
10 seconds, stop the bell. 10 seconds.
And the timekeeper just hit the bell more times than Rigomdeaux hit Casimero. He waits until after the bell.
Okay, listen. Tell him he's too fast for this guy. But he can counter punch him. He's moving too much. He's getting away from his own punches. He got to stay. He got to stay in the middle. Stay in the middle of the ring.
Jab to the head and a straight in the body. He's already weak right now. He's already weak. Jab in the head and straight in the body. He's tired. He's tired. He's weak now.
Well, at the end of the round, Casimero annoyed at this piece of action. The bell had rung, and then Rigomdeaux throws the jab, which was, you know, well after the bell had sounded.
And Cantu, the referee, did give Rigomdeaux a warning as we begin the second half of our championship encounter. The champion, John Riel Casimero, in the silver with orange trim. The challenger, Rigomdeaux, in the white and gold.
And according to show stats, Casimero's landed 23 punches in this fight to 18 for Rigomdeaux. Now, even if those numbers are slightly askew, or you can debate them a little bit, if they're anywhere in the ballpark, then we see not much offensive
Are you ready for the biggest drama of the fight thus far? Let's bring in our unofficial scorer, Steve Farrad. How do you have it at the midway point?
Mo, I have it even. I think that we should all agree to pay the official judges double tonight, the starters. But these are the kind of rounds when you focus on the fighters and you really sometimes give a round based on one single punch landed. There's a temptation to want to give Casimero more credit than he deserves because he's the aggressor, but he has to land punches. He's not landing punches. Rigo's not landing punches. I have it even.
Let's call the whole thing off. Is that what it was saying? A minute 35 left in the 7th. Thank you, Steve, as Rigomdeaux continues to utilize that footwork, but not utilizing his hands very much, and that is also in part nullifying Casimero's attack, but Casimero cannot just allow Rigomdeaux to continue to chew up the ring.
Casimero has thrown 20 punches more than Rigomdeaux, so he hasn't been, and there's Casimero kind of telling Rigomdeaux, come on, let's fight. It's intriguing to me that we've had almost 7 rounds of movements from Rigomdeaux. Many believe he wasn't capable of even moving like this for 7 rounds. Whether good or bad, whether you like it or don't like it, he seems capable of doing it, which is shocking at age 40.
That's a good point. But then again, Casimero, he will pressure here and there, and it's Rigomdeaux doing the movement that he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Not because he's being pressured to do it.
Good point.
Is the frustration growing within Casimero and making him just overthink?
And I said this, in the beginning of the fight, Casimero is going to be missing a lot. He cannot get frustrated.
Oh, he's getting frustrated.
Patient.
As are the fans getting frustrated.
Yeah. And he's reacting even to feints by Rigomdeaux, which is fascinating.
Great time to remind you that Sunday, August 29th, it is the boxing showdown between internet sensation Jake Paul and former mixed martial arts champion Tyron Woodley. It comes your way live on Showtime pay-per-view Sunday, August 29th. Hello, Cleveland! As we say hello to you from Carson, California, my favorite venue to call fights here at the Dignity Health Sports Park. Mauro Ranallo along with Al Bernstein, Abner Mares at ringside. We've got Jim Gray handling interviews and our host Brian Custer, as well as our entire Showtime Championship boxing crew. And we hope to see a lot more action in tonight's main event.
Casimero trying to invest in the body with that right hand. We've talked about it, a lot already in this fight. It's a punch that if he could get it to work a little bit, it would help his cause.
Well, the weather a lot hotter than the action thus far. 70 degrees.
That sequence for Casimero, I'm sorry, Mauro, that sequence was important. Left hook to the body, right hand, then the left hook to the head. That's what he needs to do in this fight to make something happen.
Yes, sir. And I was about to say, I've been criticizing Rigo for just using the entire ring and not throwing punches. But I got to criticize Casimero, too, because he hasn't let his hands go. When he does, like he just pointed out now, he is good, he's effective, so he needs to throw more punches, not just one punch, get discouraged. No, you got to throw 3-4 punches in a row. So it's also Casimero's own fault, too, for letting Rigomdeaux leave. Okay, you missed there. You let go of the right
hand. Good news here for record past round 7, Al, the amount of knockouts that Casimero's been able to record.
He brings his power into the later rounds. He does. 6 of those 7 have come after the 10th round, from the 10th to the 12th round. So he does carry his power late into the fight, but he's got to land something significant. And, he's 3-3 and going 12 rounds. Rigo is 5-0 going 12 rounds. We'll see which one prevails.
Our unofficial scorer, Steve Farhood, has Rigomdeaux ahead now after 7.
I I think most boxing fans are surprised that Rigomdeaux has been able to fight. Oh, there's that counter left hand.
Counter left hand by Rigomdeaux.
He wants to get that punch in to be sure.
And it's been very effective when he has used it sparingly.
Yes, I mean, it has gotten there, and certainly Shields has urged him strongly to use it more often.
So at the beginning of the night, who would have thought that Rasheed Warren would be the most spectacular performer we would see thus far?
Well, in terms of power, right, we certainly thought he could have fought a very effective fight, but for him to be the power puncher of the evening is pretty extraordinary. And now there's that double left hook from Casimero, but sparing.
Double drop. If you're going to the body, keep your defense, all right? All right? If you're going to the left hook to the body, your defense must be up.
Well, when Rigomdeaux has been able to throw the counter left hand, he has had moments with it. And here he does land it kind of on the throat of Casimero, but it's a landed punch. And then later on, Casimero doing what we said, you know, doubling, throwing the left hook. That keeps Rigomdeaux a little bit more in place and at least gave him an opportunity to land something. But he didn't really double with that punch and didn't keep him exactly where he wanted to, but did land a body shot.
The bell in round 9, and since there really isn't much to do in the way of play-by-play, Abner, just give us your assessment of what you're seeing and educate us. Oh, there's Rigomdeaux on Casimero, but help us understand, Abner, what's happening here.
Well, what's happening, it's I want to say Rigomdeaux is fighting his fight, period, you know, which is use the entire ring, wait for Casimero to make mistakes, land one punch, 2 punches, 3 per round, and try to steal the round like that. But Casimero is not throwing much, you know, which he needs to, especially there. You know, you got him in the center of the ring, go for it. You know, 2, 3 punch combination. At least you're getting one of them is going to touch.
And there's one that did touch the left and the right, and now Casimero attempting to put pressure on Rigomdeaux.
Just that is what Casimero has to do. That's what he did in the first, second, third round, and it was playing really well for him. And that's how you tire an older fighter out. There it is. You keep following him. Make it an uncomfortable fight for Rigomdeaux.
Rigomdeaux coming with that left hand downstairs, but again, the left hand has been used so sparingly by him as a counter punch. It is actually amazing that we've had 8.5 rounds of Rigomdeaux moving this much. I don't think anyone thought he had it in him to move this much. I'm not saying it's a great thing and it's not creating a thrilling fight, but it's staggering that he's been able to move this much during this amount of the fight. And when he does stand stationary, he's still feinting and making it difficult for Casimero to land punches, which is also fascinating.
One thing's for sure, Rigomdeaux's well on his way to getting his 10,000 steps in for this championship match.
You are correct, sir. And this is this is this fight in the microcosm this round. There's been 35 punches thrown. According to Showstats, 5 have landed for Casimero, 4 for Rigomdeaux. How do you choose what you think? There's a nice left hook by Casimero that gets in, but how do you choose? But Rigomdeaux's thrown so few punches.
My goodness, he's put his hands are in his pockets. He's utilizing the footwork, but a frustrating viewing experience to say the least.
Casimero in that round tried very hard to get more aggressive. And the important part there was he used the jab as a rangefinder. Then he landed the right, and then he got a left hand in. And later on in the round, in what might have been a round that Casimero you could make a strong case for him winning, he goes to the body with the right hand. And no counter punch. Well, there's Rigomdeaux landing his own counter punch to the body. So he did counter there, but Casimero with the pressure.
Come on, let's go. Let's go to work. Here.
Get over here. Round 10. Get over there.
I feel like I'm going back to my radio DJ days. All I got to do is time and temperature. Bell, round 10. And here Casimero explodes. Forward, going to the body. There's the left hand by Rigomdeaux. And here we've seen an exchange for the first time in a long time.
There it is, 2 attempts from Casimero. You got to keep attempting.
And Rigomdeaux throwing a counter punch, which, he hasn't done very often.
And I got to say, I'm not hating on Rigomdeaux's boxing abilities, which, he's known for that.
Absolutely.
He's an all-around good boxer. He knows how to use the entire ring. But if he was able to land more, throw more, I think the people, the fans would be more appreciative of his boxing abilities.
Well, I know Steve Fard was appreciative of Casimero's efforts in the last couple of rounds, giving them to the current belt holder.
Yeah, and there was an uptick for Casimero. Now, there's 2 nice jabs from Rigomdeaux, but he won't stand there and try and,
The bull and the matador.
Yeah.
And the bull is winning right now in terms of avoiding contact. But it's the matador that's making everyone mad.
Yeah, apparently, yes. And you can look at this fight. One of the things is the lack of jabs by Casimero that he's using to find his way in. I think that punch would help him a little bit more if he would use it with some conviction.
But I want to echo your statements, Al, because at the age of 40, Guillermo Rigomdeaux here now in the 10th round continues to utilize his footwork at the same pace as round 1.
Yeah, that part is staggering. It's really surprising, and I don't think anyone really thought he was capable of doing that. And yes, part of it is Casimero allowing it, but just the fact that he's been able to do it, I think, is surprising. It might not be thrilling to people, but he's been able to do it.
And now Casimero tries to go in. Boy, now Rigomdeaux.
And in this round, in the very sporadic moments when he's chosen to do it, Rigomdeaux has countered effectively. So what do you do?
And made Casimero miss spectacularly.
Yes, exactly.
And there, counter, the jab that lands for Rigomdeaux. And as Steve Farhood mentioned, if a punch lands, and it's the only punch that lands in the round, you got to give it to that fighter, right, Abner?
Of course you do.
Oh, nice left hand that lands for Rigomdeaux. We're off to the 11th.
No.
Well, Casimero trying to make some things happen, and going downstairs, he has landed that right hand from time to time and came with a left hand following it. And the action is sporadic, so you can pick out these spots and see where something happened. And there, the left hook that semi-landed, and that was a part where Rigomdeaux really frustrated Casimero.
You got to go to work now. You got to set this guy up. You can set him up easy with the left hand. Okay? That's the only chance right now. We got no other chance.
11th round. Let's go.
Let's go. We got to go. Put it in. Let's go. Let's go. Put it in. Mouthpiece.
11.
Inquiring minds want to know what's more frustrating, fighting Rigomdeaux or watching Rigomdeaux?
Well, apparently training Rigomdeaux because Ronnie Shields. Now, here's the point. He seems convinced, or he may be saying it to motivate him. He seems to think Rigomdeaux is behind in this fight. He may or may not be. Honestly, I don't know.
You know what it is? I'm sorry, I have to cut you.
Yeah, that's okay.
As a coach, I think he saw a different Rigomdeaux in the gym.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right.
That he was letting his punches go. He's doing a great training, and to see him just doing this here, I mean, it's got to be frustrating for a coach.
And to echo what Abner said before, we have huge respect for the boxing skills of Guillermo Rigomdeaux. You know, he's clearly, even the fact that he can move this way at age 40, but he just more offensively, it needs to be done to make it, you know, a really good fight. And look, Steve Farhood has that last round for Rigomdeaux, which you could make, and he's got this close fight.
You don't normally hear boos here in Carson, California.
And you know what the most frustrating thing is? That Casimero is right there, and he could let his hands go. But you know what the thing is? That he knows that Rigomdeaux is such a great counter puncher that he just does not let go. So,
nice left hook by
Casimero. Trying to find burrow his way inside.
No.
Goodness. A referee Catu's got to warn Rigomdeaux about that second time where he's come to just manhandle him with headlocks.
And we
mentioned left, sorry.
No, it's okay. We mentioned how often 6 of the KOs that Casimero has have come after the 10th round, but this isn't that kind of fight, so you don't look for it and say, oh, gee, that's going to happen.
And his career-high KO streak of 6 in jeopardy with 45 seconds left in the penultimate round. I mean, Rigomdeaux's lost just once in his career, as you mentioned, against one of the best ever in Vasily Lomachenko, in a fight where Rigomdeaux went up to 130 pounds, here tonight at 118. I don't hear anyone yelling defense like you do in football games, Abner.
True. Or basketball.
Or basketball. 10 seconds, top of the bell. 10 segundos para la campana.
Ayaw kumpiyansa. Pagdila siya. Ayaw.
Don't be confident, all right? Is this round 12?
Okay.
All right. Don't be confident. Just focus. Don't be overconfident, champ. Just stay focused. You got no punches. We will be winning this fight.
Don't wait for it. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. Tommy's setting up the
Final round of this battle is Ronald the center, and this is John. 12th and final round. John Riel Casimero defending his 118-pound belt against the 40-year-old Guillermo Rigomdeaux, who starts the 12th round with a straight left down the middle that connects. But that's it.
Well, you can count on your one hand the amount of combinations thrown in this fight. They've probably mostly come from Casimero. And you could tell me any way this fight is scored at this point, and I would say it would be plausible.
Well, Steve Hart is telling you that Rigomdeaux was ahead by a point, and
if I saw a scorecard,
difficult to score.
Yeah, if I saw a scorecard that told me Casimero was ahead by 5, I would buy into it. So, you know.
What would be interesting is that after this fight ends by decision, and we get interviews by the fighters, I would like to see what Ronnie Shields has to say. We'd like to get his thoughts on why he was so frustrated.
Now, Rigomdeaux has landed 2 or 3 good counterpunches in this round so far.
Yep.
So, and the reason we need to point that out is so few punches land in these rounds and so few are clean. And as Steve Farrell aptly pointed out, sometimes 1 or 2 punches make the difference in these rounds.
In terms of total punches landed midway through the 12th in the fight out, for Casimero 45, for Rigomdeaux 43.
Yeah, that tells us all we need to know. And they have combined for less than right around 500 punches. Combined for 500 punches. So, you know, there's not a lot going on. It's really surprising. I did not expect to see this. I thought we might see some boxing from Rigomdeaux. I didn't expect to see this.
Casimero tries to put a combination together. Rigomdeaux continues to let his feet fly, not his fists. And Casimero unable to start firing because Rigomdeaux's just not there. And when he is, like here, as Abner, you astutely put it, he's worried about the counterattack.
So he's worried about getting counterpunched.
Good luck to the 3 judges seated at ringside. It will be up to them to determine who leaves Dignity Health Sports Park a 118-pound champion.
Well, Casimero did not get his wish. All week he implored Rigomdeaux to be aggressive, to stand and fight him. Of course, Rigomdeaux was under an obligation to do that. He did not. How did it turn out? That's Sean Gibbons.
Yeah, he is
for Casimero, very animated there in the corner. Guillermo Rigomdeaux has never been worried about marketing. He has never been worried about what people will say about performances. But at some point in life, maybe you need to be. I don't know. I didn't expect him to be this defensive in this fight.
I almost thought that he was getting the idea that, you know, his boxing wasn't too marketable, and that was the reason why in his last 2-3 fights he chose to stay in the pocket, and he fought great fights, exciting fights. And people, I think, that's the one of the major reasons why they were looking forward to this fight, based on the last 2 performances that Rigomdeaux's had.
Well, early in that last round, there were moments where Rigomdeaux started things out by landing. You know, he paused with the jab, lands a beautiful straight left hand, and as we pointed out at the time, that was all we saw. He didn't really follow up on that, and Casimero doing what he has done all evening, chasing Rigomdeaux and trying to land the left hook, which to no avail. He did finally get a combination in, though. In this sequence, he starts out with the left hand, he pauses with the jab, and gets the hook in. Those weren't tremendous punches, but he did get some punches in.
Yeah, you count the punches, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, the first, second, or third, one of those punches is going to land, and that's why I was asking for more volume, more punches from Casimero.
Well, the numbers, you know, as Mauro pointed out, they're
the naked truth.
Yeah, the naked truth. They're daunting in how low they are. You know, just over 500, you know, punches landed by these, maybe close to 600, but, you know, not very many thrown by these fighters, and the fans not reacting well to Rigo's.
But he loves it.
Histrionics.
And he, you know what, he revels in it. Now, this will be illuminating, not necessarily in a great way. The number of punches, according to show stats, that have landed. Yeah, not one single double-digit landing by any fighter in it. So, you know, it's just, that's what this was.
Wow. Well, we do have a decision. We are waiting with bated breath. Here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a split decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Tim Cheatham scores the bout 115 to 113 in favor of Guillermo Rigomdeaux. Judge at ringside, Daniel Sandoval scores the bout 116 to 112 in favor of John Riel Casimero. And a third judge, Robert Hoyle, scores the bout 117 to 111 in favor of the winner and still champion, John Riel.